When they say this country is alive with opportunities, they mean this country is rich with people that are hands-on. And on today's episode, on the next big thing, we are with William Magola. He's a farmer, a facilitator, most importantly, a self-taught farmer. Now, let's go hang out with him at his farm.
How are you, sir?
Mr. William Magola. Yes. Musa Maite.
It's Musa Maite Agri Holdings.
Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Perfect.
Yeah, Musa Maite.
Yes, I named my company after my daughter. This was the dawn of my daughter. Got 2014 when I started this agriculture thing. I was not registered, I was collaborating with other people. And then in 2019 when I had a child, that gave me a purpose for life. And then I said to myself, I'm going to name everything after my firstborn child so that it motivates me, so that I can be able to continue doing better in this thing, because I'll be inspired by what is written here. For every time I see this name, I remember why am I here.
Man, you deserve a fire.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, Father of the Year. Father of the Year.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one is going to come to you, man. Do tell me about your company.
Yeah, it started long ago in 2014. I was inspired by my parents. They would sell on Sasa Pay Points, they would sell on the street, taxi rank, and everywhere where people are gathered. So my mother used to sell vegetables. So after my matric in 2011, I did not have an opportunity to go and study further. So what I did, I was working with my mom at the Rekisha Mometente. We call them Metente. So what happened, I realized there is a shortage for tomato production. And then I said to myself, I'm going to plant tomato for all these people that are gathered here. So that was triggered agriculture into me. So when I was working, I realized that these things has lives. So I started getting excited over my work, even though it was on a smaller scale. But me being able to see, this is doable, kept me going until now that we are here.
Yes, that we are here. Tell us, what's happening here actually?
In these premises, we produce, actually I was working from home. I was working from home where I was doing at least 100 up to 400 chickens. So you know these things people do say, the smell is not good, even though it's not true, it's only the narrative. When people are not doing things right, they speak of the results, and then you find that the results are also motivated by not doing things right. So what I can say, I was pushed out of my yard, my backyard home, because of the expansion. And then I decided to get a plot where I'll be able to at least farm better than. So I was doing 400 at home, now I'm doing about 2,600 chickens, mixed together with the vegetables on the other side.
Oh, we're gonna get to the vegetation side.
No problem.
Now we are talking about the chickens. So you got too big for your own home?
I got
too big for your own home.
Too big, yes, I got too big for my own home. I got too big for my neighbors, yes. Because it was starting to become a problem for them in terms of smell. In terms of me being busy, the chickens would be making noise at night, so I had to isolate myself from the public.
So that is part of looking after the environment.
Yes, and also taking care of the biosecurity principles. Because when you do things on a smaller scale, it's not the same as you do things on a larger scale. The biosecurity things, let's say for instance, the movement in my home is very active. Here can control the movement. People's movement when they come in, some trespassing. And you cannot necessarily call it that because you are other people's property. So what happens is that I had to control everything because now I was going on a larger investment. So I couldn't risk other things in terms of losing my chickens, because you wouldn't be here if I was not complying with what is required of the chickens. Yes.
Speaking of investment, so how much of a stone heart do you have to have? Where you're growing 2,000 chickens, because I believe 2,000 chickens is
It's a lot. It takes time. It takes time. It's very challenging. You get to have 100, you lose 50. You get to have 400, you lose 100. But you just have to keep going. I usually tell people that when you do things out of love, no matter the challenges, you'll be able to prevail. So what happens is that you start from scratch, you learn, you grow, and then you explore so that you're able to expand. Because if I produce 100 chickens now, I want to go for thousands. I need to get down to doing more than what I'm doing. So I get to be better practical on what I'm going to do.
But you didn't get down. You got, who's that name?
Monola Vincent Mamo, his name, we call him Mayor.
Mr. Mayor? Yeah. Tama. Yeah. Alright. So, Mr. Mayor?
I just recently employed him because the guy who was making here got another opportunity outside. So I just decided to get him in. He started with the year. This is our first production for the year. His first duty. But he has been active in the farm voluntarily.
Yeah.
That's why I considered him after the guy left.
Go into your house.
Yes.
I don't want to bring that.
Yes. It's very normal for chickens to die, especially on that number. The only thing that will start raising questions is when you lose 5 plus egg 1 pint. That's a problem. So when you get to have such challenges, you need to be able to trace. Because with chickens, it's better to prevent than to cure. Because it's never easy to cure a chicken. Yes, that's why when you got inside the house earlier on, we were able to food bath our food because we are trying to minimize the amount of things that we can get from the streets. Yes. So it's always better to prevent than to cure. So when I live here, I make sure that everything is under control. The curtains are closed, the environment inside is clean, the chickens have food, the chickens have water, then I'm good to go.
Let's talk about the ventilation. How does it work?
It's very critical for chickens to have natural ventilation, especially when you're doing on a smaller scale like this one. No, in comparison to other environments.
Now, these chickens can feed me the whole year.
Yeah, you are right. But what I'm trying to say to you, Mr. Daumasuruma, is that when you do 50,000 plus, it's not going to be as easy as you do 1,300 chickens. So that's what I'm trying to emphasize. So the ventilation is very important, and it also depends on the environment. Because when you so when you're in Tombisleka, like here in Petwane, and when you're on the other side of Chinfest, the weather conditions are not the same. So the ventilation room is not going to be the same. This one is big because the area is too hot. But in winter, it's almost moderate, yes. So you need to have still enough opening. But on the other side, the environment, the weather conditions are not so high. So you don't have to have the bigger openings for the ventilation purposes. Because with chickens it's very complicated. You get to have them having heat stress. When there's not enough airflow, and then you find that your chickens become stressed and they start collapsing. And then the minute they collapse, you sell a chicken at 65 rand selling price. So one chicken is equal to 65 rand. So we don't need that.
Yeah, you're working at a loss.
Yes.
You're working at a
now that we don't have the controlled environment, we make enough openings because we depend on nature. It's natural ventilation.
Speaking of nature, how much electricity are you dependent on here?
Usually I buy roughly about 300 units for the full production, but in winter it's way beyond that because you see these lights that are hanged here, you call them heater lights. They provide heat, so the electricity consumption in summer and in winter is not the same because they need to be cooled up in winter. That's why we have those lights, and those lights we still supplement them with coal in winter. You give them the light, it brings heat, but the only challenge with those things is that if they don't get the light from other areas, they will start to gather at one place and then over the stampede, and then you end up losing them. So with the coal heating system, you just get one umbrella, we call it, I don't know what to call it in English, and then you just put it in the center, then the heat spreads. You see that? Yeah. So the consumption in winter and in summer is not the same in terms of electricity. So we can use at least about 300 units in winter per cycle, and then we use about plus minus 100 units in summer. Because we hardly use this light. On arrival, day 1, day 2, we use the lights, and then from there we depend on nature.
So which part of this part of farming is difficult? The growing or the selling of the product?
The growing of the product is difficult because you get chicks from outside. You'll still have to identify and be able to see, monitor the growth rate, and then you find at some instances you are given the wrong breeds. You're given the chicks that are reluctant to grow.
But how do you identify a right breed?
You need to know. You need to know the right characters of your chicks. You look on the feet. There to determine the quality of the chicks, because you find other chicks. If you can look at this one, the feet are almost reddish-like. Yeah? That's it. We call them Ross 308. And then we have other one, we call it Cop 500. It has whitish feet. And then you also check the size of the feet. This one
At what point?
On arrival, at day old. While they are still yellow, fully yellow. No white feathers or anything. And then you get to identify through feet. And then you also look into the body structure. It has to be at least, even though they are still young, but you will see on the body structure, it has to be round-like, fetish-like. You will see the structure, the body of the
This is
the right breed, and this is gonna grow well. And we also weigh them. On arrival, if your chicks are not good, you can give them benefit at about on arrival 37 grams plus. If you get anything less than that, it's gonna cost you a week plus to get to the market. Comes at cost. And then if you get the chicks at around 40 grams plus, these ones on arrival were 62 grams.
That?
Yes. So you can imagine, this is going to save me a week before.
So if they were 37, less than 37 grams,
I'll have to feed them a little bit
longer.
Yes.
But now already it's really slightly overweight.
Yes.
Can I say it's overweight?
Yes, it's economically advantageous to you.
Thank you. Which one do you find more passionate with? The poultry side or the farming side?
Agriculture is exciting.
In general?
In general.
Yes,
seeing things coming from the seed to food, seeing a chicken growing from day old to until 42 days, it's exciting. But in terms of what excites me personally is the growth. So since I've been doing vegetables from 2014 up until 2017 when I ventured into skills development. And then I later decided to do chickens because I can remotely manage them. I can appoint someone and do that. But with vegetables, I only started again when I was full-time back. Now that I'm doing both of them, I find chickens attractive. I find chickens growing very well because my first visible profit in business was chicken farming. So I find chicken farming exciting because the growth of a chicken is followed by ching-ching.
Remuneration.
Yes.
Visible, tangibility.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So,
yes.
So which one is more challenging? I mean, apart from the lack of remuneration or demanding more time, which one do you find personally as William? Which one do you find?
Business-wise, poultry farming is difficult. It's very challenging because we as farmers on the ground play a bigger role in terms of the production of our primary product. We don't hold the value chain. You outsource everything. So that comes with challenges because you never know who gives you what. Basically, I was scammed 3 times due to the shortage of chicks, where I went in to try and buy chickens out of desperation. You pay less attention to the critical parts, something like that. So with poultry farming, it's very challenging, especially when you don't own your product. Because when you outsource chicks, you need to monitor them, and then you find that after 3 weeks, it's a challenge. I was once scammed. I left the farm going to Krugersdorp out of December desperation, and then I bought about 2,700 chicks at the cost of 27,500. And then I only to realize after 3 weeks that those chickens are not the breed that I wanted to get. So you see, it's very challenging. Sometimes you give people chickens out of desperation because the market is not doing well, and then Dow comes into the farm and say, Magul, I have a customer who is looking for this and chickens. Out of this desperation, you give them chickens, and then they fail to pay back. You have to complement, you have to supplement that money. So that one is it's doing good, but it's challenging. But with vegetables, you find that you plant a seed, you watch the challenges as they come, because you start from scratch.
They're expected.
Yes, they're expected.
Yeah.
So with chickens, when you have day-old chicks, you wrongly identify them, and then only to realize later that this is not what I'm looking for.
And it's hard for you who corrected that particular mistake.
Yes.
Unlike with it here, you
yes,
can put it and then replant.
Yes.
It's, you can't just to life.
You cannot make
or you cannot just turn it into the breed that you want.
You will take the fall because you can't come back to me and say chicks after 3 weeks. What if it's yours, you mistake that chickens are not growing?
Because
basically what I'm saying that you forfeit the money.
Hey man, you mentioned 27,000. I felt my stomach.
I didn't mention the fee. In 2021, that is 2021, it gave me a loss of 56,000.
I need water. I need water.
I have drank about 5 liters and only to realize that it's not going to solve my problem. I just need to go to the ground and work.
Hands on.
Yes.
Get your hands back to work.
Hence now I'm trying to what do you call diversify.
Yes.
I'm trying to get the vegetables running so that maybe that I got the thing that I do. I took the money from the chickens, started the vegetables.
Yes.
If that one is challenging, I can also take the profit from this one and supplement the other.
Yes.
So
that
that's
is
how
very
we
smart.
get to roll.
That is very smart.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not just a farmer, but at heart, I see you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur at heart. You know, it's very, very recommendable.
Thank you.
It's very, very recommendable. I'm really impressed. But more than being impressed, man, I'm still, my mind is on the goal of that 27,000.
Oh, okay.
So, in investment, you've made such a loss. When you go to bed at night, when it's you and your bed and your pillow and your God, what do you say to yourself?
Let me start from God. I'm here because of you. Because I was able to identify myself as a farmer. That's when I said to God, help me go through everything that will come with the choice that I made. And then whenever I pray, I see light. And then that's what keeps me going. And then when you go to bed, if you hold on to problems, you're not going to progress. You take the loss and move on.
Yeah,
There's business here.
Oh, let me stop you. This man is multifaceted. He's a farmer, he's an entrepreneur, spiritual man, and a motivational speaker.
Oh, I didn't know of such. Thank you very much.
Continue.
Yeah, as I was saying, if you hold on to problems into business, you need to think solutions. Let's solve the X. We have the X here, it's the challenge. Let's solve it. Let's not hold on to the X.
Yes.
So if I encounter the loss, I also do training. I train people out there and then I'll be able to find some leads so that I'm able to go back and stock some chickens. So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
But I cannot pretend as I'm not getting hurt. At some point you find me isolated, I would literally cry. I would literally cry and I'll call my Msadi and then explain to her and then until and it's very challenging.
Yeah.
But that's what keeps me going because I have support.
And that was our next big thing, Mr. William Makola, ladies and gentlemen. South Africa, all we have to do is to get those hands working. We have everything we need. Everything that we need is here at our disposal. Now, let's get those hands working. And next week, we will be talking to our next big thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Yay!